another lecture on CS 575. So in the last lecture we saw basically regression. Right? So regression was quite good in the sense that if we track this our example, we see that we got a line, I think, which was y is equal to 1.68 t plus 26 point, I think, just a second. So 24.26, something of this sort, right? Now, although the regression line is good in a way that okay, it is kind of predicting the trend for you, giving a new value which was 36.06 in our case, last case. But you can see the issue with linear regression. So, for example, you do have a trend, but you also realize there are some occasional blips also in the trend, right? It may keep on increasing, but it is always not a linear increase, right? The word linear comes because this is just a linear line, it is linear in t, right? This is no square term, so it is not quadratic. This is linear because the power of t is 1. The issue with regression is that if you have a sudden fall or rise, the regression will not capture that. Regression keeps on continuing the same slope forever, right? So occasionally when you have a fall or a rise, the linear regression will lead to a higher errors of forecasting, right? So just like we had in the case of exponential smoothing, where we had ft plus 1 is alpha, the demand plus 1 minus alpha in the previous forecast. So this model had two very good properties. First of all, it was assigning higher weights to the recent value, lower weights to the previous values. So we remember we had a very long expansion for this, right? It became eventually 1 minus alpha raised to n for ft and 1 minus alpha raised to n minus 1 for the d1, right? So can we have kind of a model, right, which can use the idea and concept of exponential smoothing, that is to have progressive weights and still consider all the values, and also to keep in mind the trend data that we are seeing? Yes, so we do have a model which is known as the Holt's model. Right, this is the Holt's model. Which is the Holt's model. So in this class we will be looking at Holt's model. So let me first write the Holt's model. It has two equations. It says ft plus 1 is equal to at plus bt. Remember our regression line was y is equal to bt plus a. So b was associated with the slope. Right? So if you see this particular exponential smoothing, I can say alpha dt is 80 and bt basically is this particular term. Although it has no relation, but just trying to make an equivalence. And here, since we have two terms, we define 80. Okay, let me use the same ink. Okay, 80 is alpha dt plus 1 minus alpha at minus 1 plus bt minus 1. So this is Holt's model, right? And bt, it says that beta into at minus 1. Yeah, the Holt's formula is a bit long, but we will try to understand it intuitively. What is the model? Right? So Holt's model says that the next forecast is equal to at plus bt, where at is given by this formula. Again, alpha and beta are the smoothing constants, right? So just like in the last case, we keep it between 0 and 1. Okay. So So why it is kept between 0 and 1? You can see in my previous lectures that we have explained. So now you can see that AT is basically given by the demand, right, plus 1 minus alpha. Again you can see that AT is defined in terms of AT again. So I can, just like the exponential smoothing, this will basically become an infinite series. That's the GP concept. Similarly, you can see that BT is also defined in terms of BT minus 1. So again, when I expand this, this will be leading to an infinite series. Fine. Similar concepts only. But now if you see, you know that AT is basically the intercept, right? A is the intercept at which the regression line cuts the y-axis when t is equal to 0. Right? It gives the intercept. And now let us see an example for this and how you can visualize it. So if you see the line of regression, you know y is bt plus a. So you can see that b is associated with the slope, right? B is associated with the slope, and if you see in the equation bt, right? So this b is related to the slope, while this a can be treated as the intercept on the y-axis. If you carefully see this slope equation, so this slope equation has a constant factor multiplied by AT minus AT minus 1. Now I just try to visualize this. AT and AT minus 1. So we have a line of regression here, right? So I have a point here. This will be AT. I am only talking about the intercept, right? And this may be AT minus 1. So if I take the projection of these points on the y-axis, right, AT and AT minus 1. So now you can see that when I am using this beta and taking the subtraction of these two intercepts, right? So when I am dealing with a new forecast, I am actually taking the subtraction of the last two values, right? So what happens here, if you see on the line of regression, let's say these points both lie on the line of regression, then we have no issues. But if this line are outside the line of regression, right, the line of regression will go on this particular line only. So when I take this difference, if you see the y-ordinate difference between these points and these points, so let's say this was the actual point, and now let me plot the y equivalent of it, right? So as you can see, if the actual point is this, but the linear regression predicted this, right? So when I take the projection on the y-axis, this difference is less actually. So this difference is captured here in the Holt's model. Right? So the Holt model says that, okay, I will capture the trend, but I will not assume that the trend is always going in a linear fashion and is always increasing or decreasing linearly. I need to capture these kind of blips or these kinds of troughs in the trend basically. Right? Similarly, this is B, this is just a slope. So you can see that the slope is basically some previous slope plus some adjustment, right? You can see that the slope is a function of the slope that you had previously, bt minus 1. So at this point you had the slope bt minus 1, and now you are readjusting with a factor. So what is the factor? Which is your next point and this. Right? So this takes a while to visualize when you try to do it by your hand. So you can just say that, okay, y is equal to bt, b is my slope. So now the slope is composed of a slope term with a constant and with a correction term. Right? So Holt's model will try to basically see the small blips and try to capture it. Right? Similarly, if you see this intercept, right? So what will happen to the intercept is the previous one. This is fine, but you can see we have the previous intercept plus a sloping factor. So in the intercept we come across a sloping factor because as I said, Holt's may change the slope over time. Since the slope will change over time, right, this point will be defined with the slope of bt. So we need to encounter that also. So once you write this equation and try to visualize using a diagram, you will get a feel why Holt's model is so important. Now let us try for this particular example, how can we compute the Holt's value, right? So remember, in case of regression, we had a line y is equal to 1.68t plus 24.26, and for the seventh prediction, right? So I am writing LR means linear regression. In the last example, we had got 36.06. Now let us see what holds give you. So in this case, we are assuming alpha is equal to 0.2, beta is equal to 0.3. Why it is between 0 and 1 can be seen in the previous lecture on exponential scaling methods. Similar explanation. And now if you see ft plus 1 is equal to at plus bt, right? So basically, if I want to compute, let's say I put t is equal to 1, right? Because I have the value of t1, right? So when I put if I put t equal to 1, I will have f2 is equal to a1 plus b1, right? Because t is 1. And now what 1 will go? Let us substitute t equal to 1 here. So we have a1 is equal to alpha. Alpha is 0.2 into d1. What was d1? D1 is the demand, right? This is basically the demand column. So D1, this is D1, D2, D3, this is demand, D4, D5 and D6. That's a second. Okay. So let us do one thing. We have already 12 minutes over. So I will stop at this point and continue the example in the next